Cole.
You're kidding. Just one shot?
They're not all zombies, Doug. How do you fight this thing?
Maybe we could drown it in A1 sauce.
Well, sometimes that is better. The person you put up there ain't the person that comes back.
It's a dance song to get down with. About 6 feet under. Get down.
Ooh, I love this song. I'm hung up in a grave situation.
And now we come to the thrilling final episode of our radio drama.
Hello and welcome to episode 264 of the Rotten Reviews podcast. Thank you everyone for showing up to another new episode. Hopefully this one will be a fun one. I haven't watched the movie yet upon doing this intro. It's a blind watch off of Tubi, and we are watching Auntie Lee's Meat Pies. So if you're a returning listener, thank you for showing up each and every single week to listen to me talk about bad movies or have bad takes on movies or just pretend to know what I'm doing as a podcaster. If you're a new listener, thank you for stopping by, and hopefully you will take the time to check out the catalog of other episodes that we have. We have a ton of good movies on the podcast catalog. Good movies, bad movies, funny movies. There's comedies. It's not all just horror movies. Expanded to comedies, couple action movies here and there. I think there's one or two animes I've done. I think the one of the Lupin the Third movies. There might be other anime ones there that I'm blanking. We're 260 episodes plus in on the podcast, so I can't remember every single episode because, well, I just can't, because there's not enough time for me to comprehend everything that I've done over the last few years. So hopefully you guys will check that all out, and if you do, make sure show it a little bit of love, share it with some friends and whatnot. But before we do get into that, let's discuss some housekeeping like we like to do at the start of each and every single episode.
Housekeeping?
Don't think you're sleeping.
Housekeeping?
Could you come back in an hour?
Housekeeping, you want towels?
Oh, towels. Need sleepy.
Housekeeping, you want mint for pillow?
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God.
Obviously, if you guys want to help grow the podcast at all, just hit that share button. Whatever podcast platform you're listening on, just hit the share button. Share it with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, X, Threads. I don't care where. Just share it. If you like it, hopefully you just spread the love. That's all we want to do is just keep creating a very like-minded community of people that enjoy the same things that we all enjoy. Not trying to have any trolls in the community at all, unless you're like the ones that live underneath a bridge and not keyboard warrior troll by any means. I don't need people just shitting on the movies for the sake of shitting on the movies. I know I don't like every single movie I do, but deep down I always try to look and find something redeemable in the movie, something that I enjoy just a slight bit. The movie could suck and be ass, but I try not to drag it through the mud too much. That's I don't want to put down someone's work that they probably spent either weeks on or months on or whatever it might be. I know a lot of work goes into a lot of things, and too many negative thoughts are around at all times, so we're just trying to be a little bit more positive, that's all, okay? But if you're on any podcast platform, just hit that share button. It helps out a lot. If you're on the YouTube channel, you can hit the share button there as well. But if you're listening on Spotify, feel free to leave a star review too if you want. I'm not gonna nag you for one, but if you want to, I appreciate it. If you want to leave a 5-star, that's even better. If you want to leave 3-star, 4-star, whatever, it's fine. If you want to leave a 1-star, that's okay. I'll have my feelings hurt just a smidge, but that's okay. If you feel like it needs it, I get it, okay? If you're on Apple or iTunes or whatever it might be, just hit the share button, leave a comment, leave a review. Whatever podcast platform you're on, just leave any kind of comment if you want to. Let me know what episodes you like. Let me know what movies you might want to see in the future. And of course, if you want to keep in touch with me, check out all my links down below. It's at Typhus. You can find me on pretty much all social media accounts. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, X. And the main thing that we've been pushing a lot is the YouTube channel. So definitely go check that out. We have the weekly gaming video that drops every single Wednesday. Old episodes of the podcast drop every single Monday. I have various daily shorts that almost come out, sometimes 2 shorts a day. That's very good for me. I've been keeping busy. And we also do live streams. I've been slowing down on the live streams a little bit. I've been doing pre-recorded content just to focus on the content a little bit more than the live stream. We will be getting back to doing live streams. I've just been building up a catalog of pre-recorded videos. That way they're ready to drop at any point in time when I need to, and I don't have to worry about having content already ready to go. We also have the community posts over there where I've been sharing my On This Day in Horror postings as well. If you want to see another site for them, check out the Rotten Reviews Podcast Instagram page where I post those daily as well, Monday to Sunday, every single day. Usually around, I have them saved to go live around like 10 a.m. Eastern time. So definitely go check that stuff out too as well. And you can also check out the CWC Canadian Wrestling Championship page on Instagram or Facebook for all your wrestling content. We've been working hard at that as well, so we're gonna have some new content coming out there as well, and some new merchandise and whatnot, and working on a streaming platform to pre-record our first couple events. So hopefully everything will come together. Hopefully next month, maybe in a couple months. We might push it back to like next year. Not really sure. We gotta work everything out, so wait and see how that goes. Also, last thing that I'm gonna promote, we also have the tpublic.com online digital store. The links will be down in the description as well if you want to check out some of that stuff. I got the Rotten Reviews podcast logo on various t-shirts. There's also a tie-dye option, pretty sweet. I also have 2 new designs. One's a John Candy related design, and one's a mashup design between Peanuts, Charlie Brown, and the Predator from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So you're probably curious what that looks like, so you should definitely go click the link down in the description below. And the t-shirts are on sale right now for $20. So if you want to buy 1 or 2, 5, 16, whatever it might be, every little bit helps to go into the podcast and the live streams and everything else to help create better content. So if you guys want to, more than welcome to. If you want to just browse it and look at the stuff, go ahead as well. That helps out too. So but with that being said, you're probably tired of listening to me talk about myself and everything else I got going on, all that fun crap. So let's talk about the movie at hand. So as I said, this is a first time watch for me, a blind watch. I watched the trailer and it looks pretty interesting. We are watching Auntie Lee's Meat Pies from 1992. It's a horror comedy for an hour and 40-minute runtime. This movie has a 5.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 4.4 out of 5 on Vinegar Syndrome. 74% of Google users have enjoyed this movie. Description it read on IMDb is: a devil-worshipping woman sends out her 4 beautiful nieces to lure men back to her place so they can be killed, ground up, and sold as meat pies. It sounds like such a weird description for a movie, but at the same time, it also sounds like such a simple concept, and it's like, wow, how did nobody else think about this beforehand? I know, I think Motel Hell kind of had the same concept. I know the farmer was burying the bodies in the ground. I don't know if he was doing anything else with them from there. It's been a while since I watched Motel Hell. I wonder if I did that for the podcast here or not. If not, I'm gonna have to add that one to the list as well. Oh boy. But yeah, it sounds like such an interesting movie, so hopefully it holds up to it. It's got an interesting cast list, so I'm hoping it does pretty well. So let's start discussing the people that worked on this movie. And first off, we're going to talk about the writer, who's also one of the directors, who is Joseph F. Robertson. He's got an interesting catalog of movies, I guess you could say. I feel like a lot of them are porns, and I feel like that's been a trend lately, because we have this movie. We also have one from 1980 called Sweet Cheeks, one from 1979 called That's Erotic, one from 1981, Love Goddesses, and 1979 he did a movie called That's Porno. Just basic, that's what it's called. And then like everyone, he's got the Long Ranger from 1987, and then there's one from 1985, Free and Easy, 1985 as well, Free and Foxy. So I'm pretty sure he did a lot of porns, because there's also no images to go with these movies either, so, because I'm assuming IMDb wouldn't like that if you had a porn picture up on the movie. So we're gonna jump to the next writer for this one is Gerald Stein, who only did this movie, and He was the producer for 1989's Dr. Caligari. And that's it. Nothing else really at all. We will now be talking about a couple of the cast members of the movie. And the first character we got to talk about, of course, is Auntie Lee, who's played by Karen Black. She was also Rayetta DePestio in 1970's 5 Easy Pieces. She is Myrtle Wilson in 1974's The Great Gatsby. She is Connie White in 1975's Nashville. And she was Mother Firefly in 2003's House of a Thousand Corpses. Good movie. I know that one now. I know The Great Gatsby. I never watched the 1974 version though. The next cast member we're going to talk about, which I was very surprised to even see he's in this movie, is Pat Morita. He's playing Chief Cole. Obviously, people would know him as Mr. Miyagi in 1984's The Karate Kid, as well as in all the other Karate Kid movies. Karate Kid Part 2, The Next Karate Kid Part 3. He's also apparently in an episode of SpongeBob playing Master Udon. My child loves SpongeBob now, and I don't know why, but I can't really say anything about it because now she's making me watch SpongeBob and making me draw SpongeBob for her lunchbox surprise series of drawings that I do for her. But yeah, he's in a bunch of different weird movies. In 2000, he was in a movie called Hammerlock. There's like Alien Ant Farm movies, but they're music videos, so I'm not sure why they're called movies if they're music videos. He's in a ton of things, like too many to even kind of go over, but The Karate Kid is the most notable thing that he's in. He's got 177 different acting roles. The last character that I want to talk about, or actor, this guy's name in the movie is Larry, and he's played by Michael Berryman. And you guys would probably know him best for being in The Hills Have Eyes. He's Pluto in 1972. He was also Clevin in 2005's The Devil's Rejects. He was Mutant Biker in 1985's Weird Science, as well as he was Ellis in 1975's One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This movie does feature a tagline, and the tagline is a slice of life. Because it deals with pies, and you do pies and slices, you know, get it, clever. Initial release date was October 21st, 1992, and apparently it was filmed in Fullerton, California, for the most part. But I think that's enough about talking about the movie. I think we're at this point in time where I gotta let you guys know, if you're a new listener, I'm going to be talking about this movie from start to finish and hitting all the points in between that interest me. So that means this episode will be spoiler heavy, which makes sense because the movie came out in 1992, so I can't really do too much. It's on you if you haven't watched it, but hopefully if you stick around for this episode till the end, I'll either really make you want to watch this movie, or you'll be okay with just listening to me talk about the movie, and you'll be like, you know what, movie's not for me, I'm going to skip it and go to something else on Tubi or Plex or whatever app you're listening on or watching movies on. But hopefully this one has a very interesting cast list, so hopefully you guys will stick around. Hopefully it'll be a good movie, and I'm just really looking forward to this one. It sounds fun as fuck, and I'm being serious with you guys. I love movies where they have such a simple concept, but it sounds so wacky and strange at the same time, and I feel like this movie's just on the verge of that kind of concept. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled, feel free to pause the episode now, go watch it on Tubi, and then come back and listen to me talk about it, or just sit back, relax, listen to me talk about the movie, and I'll either make you really add it to your watch list, your bucket list of movies to watch, or you'll be like, you know what, maybe I'll just sweep that one under the rug and we'll never talk about that ever again. But I leave that judgment call up to you at the end of this episode. So as always, make sure you get comfy, get some snacks if you're at home. You know, I know Halloween season's starting to come, maybe dim the lights a little bit if you're listening at nighttime, you know, get the red lighting going on, get a little spooky, not smutty, not smutty stuff, okay? Spooky. I know that I've gotten an influx of female listeners, and I know what you guys read. I've seen it online, fucking weirdos. I'm kidding. I'm not judging anyone. If you're at work, hopefully this helps you get through the day. And like I know most of you guys, people, I should say people, can't say guys, don't want to offend anyone. I know most of you people like to listen in the car whenever you're traveling somewhere, going to work, going out to get groceries, whatever it might be. So hopefully just keep your eyes on the road, get to where you're going, and have an enjoyable time in doing so. And with that being said, let's get started on the movie at hand right now.
Presents Saturday Night at the Movies, the television series which each week brings you the finest in recent motion pictures. Tonight,
Auntie Lee, I swear, you make the best meat pies I've ever tasted. Ain't no wonder that you're selling like crazy to all them fancy restaurants. Thank you. You know, someday, you mark my word now, someday, people are going to be buying and selling and eating Auntie Lee's meat pies all across this country, coast to coast.
I do declare, Chief, you are a flatterer.
I don't know what kind of fertilizer you use, but it sure does get the job done.
Well, let's just say that's my little secret. But someday, Chief, maybe we can let you in on it.
I would love that, Auntie Lee. I would really love it.
We got our movie starting out with some ominous music, and we have like this bird-eye view of this train tracks, and it's dirt roads all over the place, and kind of like a valley-looking area. And I'm assuming it's kind of Arizona or somewhere else around that area. It's funny as the intro credits are rolling in. The font is actually being like ate away, which is funny. I like when movies actually do something creative like that. But then we see this little, I don't know if it's like a little Dodge Datsun or a Dodge Shadow, whatever it might be, coming down the road. We got some heavy metal music playing, and it's like, I saw your mommy dying, and then we just hear the tire getting blown out of this car, because we see like a scope of a gun, and we just hear a gunshot, and then the car is driving off on the side of the road into like the ditch almost. And because I have captioned on, apparently this is Bruno yelling at his car and kicking the tire, because now he's got a flat tire. He's like, I don't want to have to deal with this crap. And then he goes to the trunk, and he gets all pissed off, and he's like, and no fucking spare, you shit for brains. And he slams the hood, or the trunk, on the car, and then we just see a bloody hand coming up from the back seat. So now he's all pissed off, and he just puts on his best smile and stands at the front of the car with his thumb out, being like, I hope somebody picks me up, and maybe I can murder them too. Then this minister guy is driving down the road, and literally driving down the road, and then Bruno just jumps out in front of him to stop the car, and the minister's like, you want to ride? As Bruno's already sitting in the car now, he's like, well, you're lucky, sir, I stopped. I could have just kept on going. We gotta be ready to meet our maker at any point in time, because I could have ran you over and killed you. And the minister guy has all these ornaments all over his car, all over the place, and Bruno's like, this is the kind of car I need. I don't need none of those Japanese crap shitbox cars. I need this car. So he pulls out a gun and be like, all right, pull, minister, or I'm gonna blow your brain out. And the minister just keeps, saying praise the Lord and all this other stuff. And Bruno doesn't care at all. And with the minister talking a lot, it brings back a lot of trauma for Bruno for when he was living with his father, and apparently his dad used to do all this crap too. And then next thing you know, we hear a gunshot, and we see the car going off a hill down into a ditch. We see like the windshield is now smashed because it looks like someone's head went through it almost. And then we just see Bruno getting out of the car and being like, well, that was a rough ride. So somehow now there's a little cutscene, and Bruno changes into the minister's clothes, and now he's got like the whole black shirt on and everything. I'm not sure how he even fits in the guy's attire when he's like 3 times bigger than the minister. But anyway, so he's standing on the side road with his thumb up, and this girl in a convertible pulls up, and she's like, oh nope, not picking this guy up. And he jumps in the car anyway. He's like, that's not the way to treat a man of the cloth. And he pulls out the gun. She's like, oh no, please don't hurt me. And I'm assuming this is actually Fawn, who's related to Auntie Lee, and Bruno's probably in for a surprise. Sorry, this one isn't Fawn. This one is Magnolia. And Bruno is taking her into the woods for some open air services, as he likes to say, and she's fighting and struggling with him. So he decks her. Bruno gets done doing his deed with Magnolia and starts laughing and laying on the ground. And then she pulls out this like giant knitting spike out of the back of her hair and just stabs him once in the temple. And now Bruno's dead. So then she goes to the trunk of her car and she just carries around a body bag at all times. So then she pulls out the body bag and starts wrapping him up in it. Magnolia is also like packing on the muscle because she's somehow able to just pick up the body bag with Bruno in it and toss it into the back seat of her car like nothing ever happened. Then she's fixing her lipstick and she speeds out of the forest area because she's one of Auntie Lee's, granddaughters, I guess. So we see Magnolia pulling up to Sam and Chuck's gas station where the guy comes up being like, "Hey, Magnolia, do you need any help pumping gas?" And anyways, she doesn't seem to mind. She's in like a short skirt and long stockings or whatever. And the whole breeze is just blowing everything up and she's acting like it's no big deal. And the mechanic guy's like, yeah, your car's fine. Because he was working on another guy's car. He's like, yeah, it's fine. You can go now. I'm busy. I'm looking. I'll add that onto your tab though, Magnolia. Okay, thanks for the view. Then Magnolia gets home and then Auntie Lee comes out and she's like, "Is that a bruise on your cheek? Oh, your nylon's wrecked. How many times I gotta tell you to not let men take advantage of you? It's not normal." And Magnolia's like, "He was just too big and too strong. I couldn't stop him. Even though I just put him in a body bag and put him in the back seat like it was no big deal. But I couldn't stop him." And then Auntie Lise gets all excited because we find out that the guy weighs 250 pounds. She's like, "Ooh, I can make a lot of meat pies over there." And then she's like, "Larry, you gotta clean up the car, especially the back seat, okay?" And Larry's just sitting in the garden for some reason being like, "Ooh, I can do that. That's Michael Berryman's character. And he plays a good freak." I mean, to be honest with you, there's not a movie role that he has done that I haven't actually enjoyed. But that's just maybe personal preference, I guess. And then we see the other granddaughter, Fawn, dropping off some of Auntie Lee's meat pies, and as she's bending in the back of the car or the truck to grab the meat pies, the owner's like, "I'm always excited to see when you show up, Fawn, and your little short Daisy hi Fawn, how's it going?" Mr. Pasquale, or whatever his name is, his wife comes over and be like, "What are you doing, honey?" Anyways, he keeps passing her the pies. Next thing you know, she's holding like 8 pies or 10 pies, and he's holding nothing because he's just staring at Fawn and be like, Can I give you a discount? A tip, maybe? Something?" And then we just cut to this little guy's house, and apparently he doesn't have a car. He just rides around on a donkey by the looks of it. He's sitting on his porch, and he looks across the road and be like, it's that Fawn Lee picking up another hitchhiker again. Probably never gonna see where he goes to ever again, because he's probably gonna die." Then as Fawn's driving with this hitchhiker in this passenger seat, we find out he's running from the police because then we see Chief Cole, Pat Morita's character, coming by with the sirens on the walkie-talkie or on the CB radio or the loudspeaker, I guess, being like, "Watch your speed, all right, Fawn, don't be speeding." And then she's like, "Oh, well, I can see that you're running from the police." And he's like, "Well, actually, I was walking from the police, but yeah, I'm not really liked around here." So then Fawn's like, "Would you like some lunch? I'm sure being on the lam is making you pretty hungry." And he's like, "Well, Fawn, to be honest with you, I'm vegetarian, and Auntie Lee's meat pies aren't really my thing." She's like, "Well, I'm sure I could probably work something up vegetarian for you." And he's like, "Well, I'm sure you probably could." Bob and Fawn inside the kitchen. She's putting some groceries away that they brought in, and he gets all hands and touchy and feely, and she does too. And anyway, she's like, "I gotta go see where Auntie Lee is. Maybe she's in the basement processing today's shipment of meat." So then he starts sniffing this picture on the wall, which looks like pepperoni or skin. I'm not really too sure. Anyways, then Fawn comes back and we just see Bob eating some random cookies that I just found. So then Fawn comes back. She's like, "Yeah, Auntie Lee's in the basement, just chopping up some meat." And she's like, "Here's some wine. Get ready to party." And he's like, "Oh, right, where's the glasses?" And she's like, "Just in the pantry in the back. You just go back through that door and you go get them, and I'll just follow behind you." Anyways, he goes into where the pantry is and she shuts the door behind him. So this pantry is just like a little closet. And for a reason, I guess Bob didn't think anything of it at all, because Fawn shuts the door on him, and then she presses this button, and this blade comes out and literally cuts his head off in one slice. And then we just see the head rolling down this like conveyor system. And then we cut to police Cole, who's picking up another girl who's now broken down on the side of the road. And then we see Fawn dragging Larry into the barn where her truck stays. And she, look at this. It's filthy, Larry. I want it cleaned right now, right away. He's like, I'm sorry, I forgot, Miss Fawn. Please don't beat me up. And then we just see him being like, Larry, stupid. Larry, stupid. And then he gets ready to ram his head into the hood of the truck over and over again as he keeps telling himself he's stupid. And then we have Chief Cole dropping off Coral, another one of Auntie Lee's grandkids. And he's like, I wanted to just bring her home, Auntie Lee, because I didn't want her getting picked up by some convict out on like a day pass or something. I don't want her to get hurt, so I'm just glad she's home safe now, alright? So then Chief Cole's getting ready to light a smoke, and Auntie Lee's like, what are we doing outside here? I just made a bunch of fresh meat pies, and you're more than welcome to have as many as you want inside, officer. And at first she's like, no, I can't. I'm on duty. Gotta go back to the town. Gotta make sure everyone's safe. And she's like, oh, it won't be a few minutes. And he's like, all right, let's go inside. You twist my arm too much. Let's go inside and have some meat pies. And then it just, the audio in this section is a little bit annoying because they just make him like moaning and groaning over this food so damn loud in my headphones that I don't want to hear Chief Cole, Karate Kid Master, moaning and groaning as he's eating food. So we see Chief Cole driving down the road, and he comes up to Larry, and he stops. And he's like, what happened to you, Larry? And Larry's still got blood on his forehead from punishing himself against the hood of the truck. And he's like, what happened to you? He's like, oh, I forget. Oh, wait, now I remember. I punished myself for the dirty hubcaps. He's like, Larry, you gotta stop being so hard on yourself. It's okay if you forget to do something. He's like, where are you going? Well, I gotta go to Coral's car to fix the tire. He's like, all right, jump in. And Larry gets all excited, be like, hey, can you turn on the red lights? Can you turn on the red lights? And Chief Cole's like, for you, Larry, I'll turn on the red, white, and blue lights, buddy. Don't you worry about it. Get in. Also, Larry has a bicycle pump by the looks of it in his hand, so I'm not sure how he's gonna fix a car tire, a bicycle pump. Anyways, they get to the car, and then Larry's like, Chief, I got a question. He's like, yeah, Larry, can I be a policeman? He's like, a policeman? Maybe a volunteer deputy, because, we're in a really small town, so maybe a volunteer deputy at best. And then Larry's like, where's my badge, Chief? He's like, go buy yourself a badge. Just give me the bill. I'll lay for it. Deputy, get fixing this tire. All right, come on. I got actual police duties to go do. So then we see Auntie Lee sending out Sky and Coral with hunting rifles so that they can shoot down some random people. Well, shoot the tires out and then kill them afterwards. We see Auntie Lee and Magnolia sitting down outside, and Magnolia's like fixing up some carrots and shit, and Auntie Lee's like, I'm going to be fixing up a rich chicken gravy, as she's holding the chicken in her lap, and the chicken's like, ah, crap, I'm dead. And then we see this random guy, I'm believing it's Harold Ivar, sitting inside Chief Cole's office. He's calling Mr. Evans. He's like, no, don't worry about Mr. Evans. I'm in the small little desert town. I'm sitting in the police chief's office. I'm hot on his trail. I'm still on his trail, and I'm gonna find him. Don't you worry, Mr. Evans. I'll find him. And then Chief Cole comes in and be like, what are you doing sitting in my office, sitting on my chair, on my phone? And we find out this guy's hunting down Mr. Evans' son, who's been skipping out on bills, going around all over the place, breaking shit, causing a lot of havoc. Chief Cole turns the music back because Ivar's changes the music from his oriental music to some other music, and then he pulls out a samurai sword being like, get off the phone now. And Ivar's like, hey, I'm charging this phone to my credit card, don't worry about it. Get off the phone, get out of my office. And he's like, hey, I'm from New York, okay? I'm a private investigator. Who's shitting your cornflakes, alright? And we find out the private investigator is hunting down Bob Evans, who is obviously dead because, Fawn chopped off his head in the pantry. And Chief goes like, well, how do you know Bob Evans hasn't left town? He's like, well, I don't know. He could be still here. Most likely he's probably still here because, we haven't found any charges anywhere else. But most likely he's still in town, I know I'm in your territory and you're being an asshole to me. So I'm going to be at the Hotel Penance because, I've never mentioned it earlier, but we're in the small little town of Penance out in the desert. And he's like, here's my business card. And the chief looks at it and he's like, all right, I guess I'll believe you a little bit, but I don't need your help anyways. I'll find Bob on my own. Or he's probably not in my town at all. And then we just cut to Larry getting pissed off at the Cadillac. He's like, you always get me in shit with Auntie Lee and the girls. You stupid piece of shit. I'm talking to you. Are you listening to me, you stupid car? I'm going to beat you up. So then we see Larry sitting in the driver's seat of the Cadillac with the flat tire in the passenger seat. He's like, you cause enough trouble. You looks over at the tire and be like, you understand me, mister? You cause too much trouble. Stop being a piece of shit. So then we see Coral and Sky standing on the side of the road with binoculars. Like, not fully on the side of the road, they're kind of off in the little bit of the weeds a little bit. And they're looking at license plates. And one's Utah. So Sky's like, what about that, Coral? Utah, huh? And then Coral's like, nah, Auntie Lee would never forgive us. That's Mormon country. And she says all the Mormons are inbreds and all their brains are smushed. She'll never let us go for that one. Then we see Larry showing up to Sam and Chuck's garage. And he's like, all right, mister, it's about time you get out of here and you show a little respect. And he's talking to the spare tire the whole goddamn time, by the way. Just so you're aware. And then we see this convertible 4 rock and roll band guys going down the road in it, and they're singing some song about fun, fresh, tight, sweet stuff. That's all the lyrics. That's all the lyrics in the goddamn song. I don't know what it is. But anyways, then Sky and Carol are looking at the license plate on that car, and they're from New York. So it's like, New York people, that's the people we're going to get. So then as soon as they're like, yeah, that's the car we're going to shoot at, within minutes, they shoot out 2 of the car's tires, and then the car starts going down this dirt road. And then one of the bandmates in the back, he's like, talk about bad karma, guys. This is it totally right here. Now we're down a dirt road with nowhere to go. And 2 flat tires. And then Coral and Sky is like, hey, boys, you guys can use our phone. We live at Auntie Lee's. Just, this road actually goes right to it right down there. It's kind of convenient, huh? And he's like, oh, wow, that's really convenient. We could have been stranded out here for God knows how long. They're literally like a 2-second walk from Auntie Lee's. So I don't know why these guys were like so confused, being like, oh, I need to find a phone. When you can look down the goddamn road and see the goddamn house because it's so goddamn big. So then we see the boys inside the house sitting on the couch, and Auntie Lee's on the phone with Chucky and be like, hey, so the boys had a little blowout here. I got 4 handsome little rock and roll stars here needing flat tires fixed. And she's like, so do you think the 2 tires are fixable at all? And the guy's like, no, just let me talk to him. I'll explain it. And she's like, no. He'll give you a bad deal. He doesn't like outsiders. Let me deal with it. Clearly, Chucky's not on the phone at all. And he's like, he can't come out till apparently tomorrow morning. There's a big accident on Interstate 5, and all the tow trucks are under Chief Cole's supervision right now. So you guys are gonna have to just, hang around till tomorrow and become meat pies. But that's besides the point. So then we see Magnolia going through like Auntie Lee's recipe list, which is actually just a list of all the people that she's killed and turned into meat pies. And Magnolia's like, yep, just so I thought. Bob Evans, this is one of the ones Fawn brought back. She's supposed to be the smart one, but now this guy that she killed has a private eye after him, and he's questioning everyone in town if they've seen him. So then we see Larry getting the spare tire back from Chucky, and Chucky's like, yeah, it should be good. Looks like he had a bone stuck in it. He's like, oh, that's weird. And then Police Chief Cole comes over and be like, hey, Larry, I'll help you. There's a secret way to organizing a trunk. Don't worry about it. And he's like, moving some stuff around. He's like, it smells like you got some trash or something in the back seat here, or in the back of the trunk here. So he goes to move a brown garbage bag, and Larry's like, no, that's my secret stuff. That's my secret stuff. And then we just see it's a decaying hand, like skeletal hand with some flesh on it. And Chief Cole looks over at him, and Larry's like, oh, no. So we see Harold Ivers stopping at that little farmer that lives on the side of the road with the donkey. He's like, howdy. He's like, Jesus Christ, only people say howdy are assholes from New York. He's like, all right, I understand what's going on here. And then we cut to the donkey that's just laughing at him. He's like, I'm just wondering if you see my brother. He was traveling through. He's like, hey, he's not your brother. He's like, all right, fine, you got me. I'm a private eye, and I'm just looking for this missing person, okay? So then the guy's like, yeah, that guy went with Auntie Lee's, granddaughters. He's gonna have some sociable diseases and stuff. And he's like, so where can I find this Auntie Lee? He's like, your car's pointing in the right direction. Just take it with you. Yeah, go down that road. You can't miss a big sign, you asshole. So we see this later that night. We see everyone sitting around the dinner table. And, instead of doing like a pray to Jesus, Auntie Lee is doing a little pray to Lucifer himself, because, this is the first time that we're actually seeing that she's satanic. And then the guys are like, man, talk about heavy metal prayers, man. This is pretty goddamn cool. Why is there so many candles, though? And then Auntie Lee's like, Magnolia, don't you think this would be a good time to bring baby down from upstairs now that she's feeling better, now that her rash is gone? And Magnolia's like, yeah, I'm sure she would love to see our new guest for the night. And then we see baby's room room, and it's like fenced in area. There's a bunch of baby dolls like tied to the fence wall, and then there's like a bone like thing that toddlers have above their bed. It's made out of bones. It looks like from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But we see Baby is a full-grown girl who has an oversized bottle and a large-ass diaper on. I don't know where this movie's going now, but this seems like a weird fetish thing. I'm assuming maybe she's just a girl with a learning disability and her mind hasn't aged like everyone else has, like how her body has. Maybe. I don't really know. So we see Magnolia bringing Baby down, and she's pushing her in this oversized stroller, high chair combo thing. And the band guys start looking and be like, what's going on now? And then we cut to Chief Cole sitting in his office with Larry as they're looking in the garbage bag full of body parts. So Larry's like, these are people that were trying to put me away that were against me. And I didn't like it, Chief Cole. And then we just see the chief closing up the bag being like, Larry, did you kill Bob Evans? Larry's just like, I don't know any of their names, to be honest with you. So then Magnolia and Doc, one of the band members, goes to take Baby back to the room. And then one of the other band members, John, starts laughing. And the girl's like, what's so funny? And he's like, Auntie Lee makes the best meal and the best entertainment. And then the girl's like, what entertainment? It's like, this is just a gag against everyone. I know this. She's not really a baby. And the girls get pissed off at John. He's like, what? So we see Magnolia and Doc in Baby's room, and there's like an oversized crib and everything. And Doc's like, what's the chains for? And Magnolia's like, that's for Baby, to keep her secure. You know, once she gets a little angry, she gets a little crazy. We gotta chain her down. And Doc's like, I like chains. I like kind of stimulating, kind of sexy. So now we see Doc chained up by his wrists from the ceiling, and he's going on about how he loves pain and torture. And then Magnolia goes on about how she loves like watching a car accident, and the whole time she's talking, Baby is like kissing the back of Doc's head and neck. And then Doc starts to scream and asks Magnolia to help him because Baby is taking a giant chunk out of the side of his neck, and he's not going to survive. So then John goes to see Sky to say sorry to her because she's all pissed off, and it's part of the plan. And she's like, I forgive you. Would you like to go to the basement and see the food preparation area? You gotta be quiet though. Auntie doesn't like outsiders in the basement. She's afraid somebody might steal her secret recipe. So if you can be quiet, we'll go down to the basement together. So then we see Auntie Lee going to turn some alarms, and all these metal shutters start to close on the window, and everyone starts freaking out, being like, what's going on? It's like, no, don't worry. It's just Auntie Lee closing the shutters. Now she's worried about some people breaking in, some rapists and all that stuff, And one of the band guys like, it sounds like a metal nuclear blast door just shutting. Like, nah, it's nothing to worry about, guys. Just so we're safe for the night. That's all. Don't worry about it. So we see Fawn taking one of the guys to her room because they want a little bit more privacy, and her room is got the wooden stone statues all around it, like the oval statues. I forget, it's not, I don't think it's Stonehenge, it's something like it. And she's like, I'm gonna go take a shower, right? You just sit here and get comfy on this rock. And then some electricity starts flashing all over the place, and he's like, what's going on? Next thing you know, she's like stripping down. He's like, oh yeah, I like this. Okay, we're good. And apparently, like, she has a built-in shower in her room. Anyways, we see Fawn showering, and then the power goes out again, and then it pops in again, and she's in a different spot, and we just see like water hitting her in the back of the head, and he's just staring at her the whole time, being like, oh. But you can tell it's not water, because if you're looking at it, it just looks like there's some strings and there's a bunch of air running through. This movie has some very weird scenes mixed in with it all over the place that don't really make a lot of sense. But, this band member guy, I forget his name, he's having a fun time because he's just pretty much watching her black silhouette having like a striptease moment, essentially. And then Fawn's like, I'm probably different than any girl I don't really need to know a man to love him. I just need to love a man to kill him. And then she starts ramming her fingers into his eye sockets. And then she pulls out a meat cleaver and just starts hacking and slicing him up into pieces. We now see Sky walking John around the basement and the food prep area. He starts opening doors and looking around, being like, I expect to see some meat slabs just hanging in the freezer. She's like, nah, we like to process them as soon as possible. That way we get our orders out lickety split. So then he's walking around, he opens up an air closet, and he just sees a head hanging in a steel cage and freaks out. And then Sky just hits him in the jaw with a meat hook and then starts hanging him from the ceiling. So then we see Craig and Coral going to her room, and they open up the door, and the red light phases out, and Craig's looking around, be like, whoa. And she's like, I want to introduce you to Simone. He's like, what's that, Narnies? He's like, no, it's just a close friend. And they go inside her room, and there's giant snake statues, and there's a steel and glass container inside in the middle of the container, or the statues, and there's rattlesnakes, or a rattlesnake inside of it. And he's like, wow, I'm assuming that's Simone, and I prefer hamsters, to be honest with you. Coral offers him the chance to feed the snake, and Craig's like, I really don't want to at all. And then she goes over to the snake statue and pulls a rat out of its mouth and just throws the rat in with the rattlesnake. And he's like, isn't she beautiful? And he's like, yeah, sure. Then out of nowhere, it just cuts to Craig laying down on a table between the two snake statues, and she's painting him up. I don't know why, but then, like, suspenseful music starts playing, and she starts dancing with the snake statues, and he's just watching me like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm okay with it. And then, Craig's laying back, relaxing, he's hearing Coral moan, and then he opens his eyes, and two giant snake fangs penetrate through his chest, and he screams as he dies in pain, because they're giant fangs, like the size of his legs, just impale him right through the chest. So we see Auntie Lee, Magnolia, and Fawn in the kitchen as there's body parts all over the place, and Fawn and Magnolia are being like, hey, I wonder where this little piggy went, because there's a foot missing a toe, and he's like, stop playing with the food, we got a lot of work to be done. And then the doorbell rings, and it's Harold Ivars, the private dick. So Magnolia goes to answer the door, and she's like, oh, it's my favorite dick. How did you find me? He's like, well, actually, I was looking for Bob Evans, and it just happens to be that you actually live here. And then she gets all upset because he's there to look for Bob and not for her. He's like, what, so you're just going to slap me around, throw me to the floor, rip off all my clothes, huh? Is that your thought of a good time? He's like, no. He's like, well, fine, that's a shame then, I guess. And she just walks away. He's like, I'm still in your home. What are we doing here? So Magnolia takes him into the kitchen, and she's trying to get some wine ready, and she opens up the fridge, and we see a couple body parts, and she's trying to hide it. And then she's like, the glasses are in the pantry, you want to get them out of the pantry? And then she looks at the pantry door, and there's blood coming out from underneath it. She's like, actually, they're in the cupboard over here. So she goes to open up the cupboard, and there's more body parts. She's like, so how are you doing? He's like, well, I'm here because Farmer said Bob was seen getting a truck with Auntie Lee's logo on the side. He's like, oh, that was fun. She's actually in the pool doing her nightly lap. She likes to keep in shape. You should probably take off your shoes, go out there, you could talk to her out there by the pool. And then Harold goes to talk to Fawn, and she's in the pool doing her laps, and he's like, hi, I'm Private Eye, I'm looking for Bob's. And he goes to show her a card or a picture of him, and then Fawn just rips him right into the pool. She's like, I just thought it'd be fun, throw you in the pool like that, huh? And Fawn's like, I don't know where he is, all I know is he left with a smile on his face. That's all I can tell you. Then one by one, all the girls are in their bathing suits and start jumping in the pool, and Harold's like, oh my gosh, what did I just get myself into? Oh boy. And then they all have like little spikes, and then they just start stabbing them in the water. But yet the water's not changing red at all. Anyways, then Auntie Lee's staying at the edge of the pool and blessing the pool with the circle of Lucifer, some bullshit. And then the water starts to get bubbly and boiling, and then it starts to turn red as we see Harold's body just sinking in the pool a bit. Then we see Chief Cole bringing Larry back to the home, and they're pulling up, and we see the Rockers' car outside, and we see Detective's car outside, and Cole's like, whose cars are those? Larry's like, I don't know, Larry always cleans up after the girls. So Chief Cole knocks on the door, and Fawn answers. She's like, what are you doing up so early, Chief? He's like, well, can you go get your Auntie Lee, please? I got some bad news. It's about Larry here. And she's like, oh, I hope it's not too serious. He's like, well, that's pretty serious. We gotta go talk to her right now. And then Chief Cole's like, Auntie Lee, I got some serious news to talk to you. I got something serious to lay on you. And it's some bad news about Larry here. Larry's been going around town killing people and leaving the bodies and the bones in the back of his car. And, it's some serious stuff we gotta deal with right now. So then Fawn's like, Chief, can't you just, turn a blind eye? We'll keep Larry on the property at all times. He won't leave at all. This is his first offense. He's a puppy dog. He's like, this ain't no traffic violation. This is a serial murder case. So then Fawn's like, Chief, would you like some coffee? He's like, yes, black, please. And then she goes over to the pantry and hits the disposal off switch. Anyway, she goes goes over to the sink. She's like, Chief, can you help me? There seems to be something stuck in the garbage disposal in the sink, and I don't have strong enough hands to do it. And he's like, yeah, I'll help you, no problem. So he goes over and he's like, yeah, something really stuck in here. I can't get the blade to move at all. So then Auntie Lee goes back into the closet and turns the disposal on, and then Fawn hits the switch and his arm starts to get sucked into the disposal, and Larry tackles him and like pushes him closer so that his arm goes farther in. Auntie Lee just comes up right behind Chief Cole, pulls his gun out of his holster, and points it at the side of his head, and is like, nobody's ever going to take my brother away from me. And then she pulls the trigger, and we see the bullet coming down the barrel of the gun, and we hear just like the bullet going through his head, and everything splattering all over the place. And then it just cuts to a black screen and says, the end. Then we have some ominous music playing. We see outside the house, we see the police truck there, we see the detective's car there, the rocker's car there. And then Fawn's like, Auntie, that was really close. I'm getting too close to comfort. He's like, I thought we were going to get caught there. He's like, well, maybe we'll have to move to a different spot and start all over. And then Auntie Lee's like, Larry, you need to go outside and get rid of the cars. And Auntie Lee's like, you need to get rid of all the cars. And Larry's like, oh, do I have to get rid of the police car though? I'm a deputy now though. I need a police car if I'm a deputy. And he was like, yes, you need to get rid of all the cars, and no more saving those damn bones, okay? You need to get rid of all of them. And then we see like the cellar door, and it's chained up, but then we see a hand reaching out of it, and it's all bloody, and it's trying to reach away, and then it just slowly sinks back into the cellar area, and the outro credits start to play, and that's the end of the movie. And that's the end of the movie, and I gotta say, this was an interesting one. I loved the concept of the movie, and I thought it was actually really well made. It gets weird in certain spots, and it's like a horror movie, but it's got like a hint of very sexual things near the end, which I'm surprised that it wasn't full on at the front. There is some things here and there, but I thought the kills were pretty decent. The whole baby thing was really weird, to be honest with you, now looking back at it, but it is what it is. I enjoyed this movie, and I would watch it again for sure. Not anytime soon, but I would definitely add it to my watch list for Halloween or whatever, and check back on every now and then. It's got a good cast. I enjoy the cast a lot, to be honest with you, and I would definitely highly recommend checking this one out. Out of the rotten scale of 10, I'm going to give this one a solid 7. I think it's a fun movie and definitely well worth the watch. Which brings us to a point in time where we're going to pick what we're watching next week. Alright, so for next week, we're going to watch a thriller comedy. It's on Tubi. It's from 1992. It's an hour and 32-minute runtime. It's called The Vagrant. The description as read on Tubi. An ambitious executive finds he's not home alone when his life is thrown into chaos by a vagrant living across the street and a daft detective. And starring Bill Paxton, the late great Bill Paxton. I've always been a big fan of Bill Paxton. I think one of my favorite movies of his would actually be Near Dark. That's a vampire movie, near and dear to my heart, no pun intended. I love that vampire movie. I think it's one of the best, and it's up there with Carpenter's Vampires. I enjoy that one a lot as well. I'm not your typical vampire fan, so those two movies are really good, but I'm really looking forward to watching this one. I haven't actually watched this movie before, so it's going to be another blind watch, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty good, so hopefully you guys will check that out. As always, make sure to check out the outro band, Toronto-based horror band Blood Opera. You can find them linked to this episode and every single episode for the most part. Their links are down in the description below as well, but Spotify has this new feature now if you're listening on Spotify where they link the band right to it, so you can just go down,
scroll down a little bit and click on them and listen to all their songs on Spotify or Amazon Music, wherever your preference for music is. And also check out all my links down below at Typhonstein. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, X, YouTube being the main thing. Go check out the weekly game video drop every single Wednesday. Old episodes of the podcast every single Monday. We have very short videos over there as well. And make sure to check out all the merch. Everything's going to be linked down below. And I'll talk to you guys all later. Peace!